Alright, so today we're talking about one-night stands. I'm not doing a history of it because y'all know what one-night stands are. Y'all know what sex on the first date is, so that's either here nor there. This is really just an opinion show today.
Hey, I got a bunch of opinions,
We love
and
opinions.
none of them are a fact.
Alright.
That's what an opinion is.
No, you got an opinion that's fact, though.
What the f***?
No,
Your opinion is what you formulate in your head.
Completely.
I think water is wet.
This is gonna be a good episode, you guys.
That's not a fact. Because
This is gonna be a good episode.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex.
hello and welcome. My name is Ashley Neal.
I'm Trey Perillo.
And I'm Elijah Colas.
And this is the
Birds and the Bees.
A sex talk show where we not only just talk about sex, but we get into it. Like, we talk about the things that y'all don't really ever really talk about. You know, we know about penises and vaginas, but what do we know about the mind? What do we know about the spirit, the emotion of sex? So let's get into it. One night stands versus sex on a first date. What is a one night stand? What do you guys consider a one night stand? Because I know a lot of people don't think of a one night stand as the same thing.
The thing that I put my juice on, like, by my bed.
Oh, so one night stand.
Yes.
Got it. But a one night stand.
Alright.
I'm gonna put crickets.
I didn't order corn.
I'm putting crickets after that one because you made me put crickets after mine. I'm putting crickets after
Go for it,
Nah, I didn't order corn with my meal. I'm sorry.
But did you order some cheese? Because it's cheesy? Okay.
I'm lactose intolerant.
Another one.
There's another cricket. Another cricket. Okay, one night stand. A lot of people really don't know, like, the actual technical term of a one night stand. Like, do you guys think it has to be with a stranger, or it could be with someone you know?
No, I think stranger.
I thought it was like if one person, you just never do it again.
Yeah. No.
I interpret it as a stranger. Like, the definition that I looked up on UrbanDictionary.com.
Stranger, like
It says stranger. It's like you go to a club, you see them like, oh shoot, you look good. I wanna you.
Yeah.
And then y'all hook
What
up.
clubs are you going to?
I'm not. This is just.
Yo, Trey, what's good, bro? I
What's
want
up?
you, man.
Me too.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna leave. It's only 8:30. I just got here. Forget these drinks.
I'm trying to get up in them drawers.
You mean it's not that easy?
Nah.
I always thought it was that easy.
Women have that thing called self-respect. That it's not like that. Self-respect in a good way. Keep it. I didn't really mean like that in a bad. I don't even know what.
All right, how about this? How about this? We just don't stop. All right. So the biggest question, for me at least, is what is most acceptable in your eyes? Do you think a one night stand is more acceptable, or sex on the first date?
One night stand.
Sex on the first date.
I say one night stand.
stand? Are you serious? No, they're not. Okay, wait.
By the definition
here's why
of
for-
a word night stand of I'm not seeing you, like I just met you, then it's not a date.
Wait, but
A date, there's like
For
a
me,
pre-date
for sex on the first date could just end up being a one night stand. Like, if I'm on a date with the person, then I want to keep seeing them, so I'm not just gonna do that.
All
So
right.
then we need
A
to
one night
define-
stand.
We're gonna define both. Define both. So one night stand. We're going to define it, and we can all collectively, mutually, like, come up with a definition. One night stand. You have sex. Let's not say stranger. You have sex with a person, and then after that sexual encounter, you don't talk to them or have sex with them again.
Can I add something? Is it premeditated? Because I thought that's what it is. You don't go out with the intention of meeting someone.
No. A one night stand is it's not planned.
Like, I don't know.
A one
There
night
are
stand
people that do go out to just, like, they go out to a bar or club that night just because they want to find somebody.
But it was like random. Like, you could have went home with nobody.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just ended up at Denny's.
Like it's not like you go to the, like, you can have in your mind that you're gonna go to the club and find somebody to have sex with, but you don't know who you're having sex with, and that's what makes it a one night stand. Like, it'd be different if you were going to the club with a group of your friends and you know that one friend and you're like, oh yeah, I'm on her tonight. Like, that's not.
So then what is that
Can
called?
we find a new word for, like, the word?
Sex.
A
I'm gonna
buddy.
sex her tonight.
A buddy F.
I'm gonna sex her tonight. I'm gonna freak her tonight. Can we say freak? Can we say freak? I like freak.
I
That helps.
my
A buddy
parents and I
freak.
freaked it.
I'm a freak her tonight. Okay, and then sex on a first date can be you know the person prior to, go on a date, and then after the date you have a nightcap.
I think that's a little bit more doable because in this, at least, I think that's a that signifies you had a good time.
Exactly.
And also, some people really do like to get it out of the way because for some people, sex is bad. Sex is like
Exactly.
Oh
And
my
nobody
God.
wants to. Cause you imagine, and I'm not saying this
might
is
be
me.
into a feet licker and you don't like your feet being
But not
licked.
even just that, but imagine going on like for people who have the mentality of I'm gonna have sex on a first date and get it over with. Imagine going on 10 dates with this person, and then that 10th date you have sex with him, and this 10th date has been within a span of like 3 months, right? And you've been only dealing with him. You have sex with him. His penis is little. He has no motion in the ocean, and he talks during sex, and you don't like that. You've wasted 3 months of your time.
Talks like what during sex? Don't people like it?
Like that. How he talks like that.
I think you like it. You like it, don't you? Say you love it. I'm gonna give you what you want.
And his penis
Can you
is
imagine
little.
the narration? It's like, I'm going in now.
I will now enter your region.
I have now reached climax.
My God, you look
Are
amazing.
you feeling it yet?
Bounce for me,
stroke
please.
your-
Oh my gosh, why are you crying? Are you okay? Are you okay?
Are you-
I have climaxed.
You know the level of like respect that you know the level of like respect you're gonna get, not respect, like the lack of respect you get from a one night stand. But you know what you're going into. Sex on the first date is different. Like if you know you're going into you both just want to have sex for one time, great.
Okay.
Sex on the first date, you never know because the other person might just be wanting a one night stand with you, and you might have just put out for one person, thinking that it was going to get further. A one night stand, both people know it's going to be a one night stand.
Okay, but then
That's
what
kind of
happens
amazing.
if that one night stand turns into you being in a doctor's office saying that you have chlamydia?
Why is that the chlamydia with
Oh,
y'all?
God.
What life are y'all living? Everything is chlamydia.
Oh, I have chlamydia.
Everything ends with what is y'all life like? I so never think about
I've never
that.
had chlamydia before.
I mean, there are just like random people walking around with super gonorrhea, so like.
Yeah, you don't
Man,
know.
listen, that's
You don't know. A
When I
one night
took the
stand.
Safer Sex workshop, they taught me I could find that.
We should
So I'm
definitely
good.
link them.
What if you smell it? Then it's the.
Yeah.
the palms.
yeah.
Check them palms for syphilis.
Okay,
And then
so
listen, but one night stands have these fun phrases.
like what?
Ejaculate, evacuate. Smash and pass. Come and go.
You're pregnant, I'm leaving.
Okay, Eli, defend your choice as for why first date would be your.
Oh,
With you.
I live alone, and when I first started to live alone, I thought it'd be dope. Like, I'm gonna have women in here all the time, and then I had stuff in my house, and I was like, what if they wake up and take my stuff? And I've been clinging to that thought ever since. That is honestly, I don't want to get robbed. I don't know you people like that. Also, I just like to sleep alone, and then there's always that awkward conversation of, oh, you're still here.
Oh.
Yeah,
But that can also happen within a first sex on a first date, can it not?
No, because with the first date, like, I feel like we know each other's quirks. Like, there's more of a background. I think that background that Trey talks about in the club, we have that in a more concise setting. Like, we were talking in a normal...
Beforehand.
Yeah, so it's just like...
I know you.
I can
know.
probably say some weird stuff, and it's like, oh, that's his sense of humor. Opposed to, like, we're in the club, and I'll be like, hey, you trying to freak a demon? And then it's just like, oh, I don't have that rapport with you. But then, like, yeah, also my stuff, like I had a flat screen. Also, you hear stories about dudes just chicks taking guys home to like send guys their address and your house is getting broken into. I'm good, man. That just sounds like a lot I don't want to deal with. I like my stuff. Oh, you guys don't think about that. But y'all focus on diseases. You know what's the best, you know what's the worst
Well,
disease?
also-
You can buy back stuff. How you gonna buy a body?
Pause. But also, we don't own a home. Like, I don't
Sure,
own
I'm
that
not a
house, so I'm not.
Wait, I got one question. So like, you're having a one night stand, and you finish, and it's like 4 a.m. You still gonna kick her out, dude? Or can she stay? Cause you said that.
Until like 7 o'clock in the morning, and then she can leave.
Is it Uber more at that time, or is it just like you don't got it, or what's the deal?
You know, every day you impress me with the things you say, and today
Nah,
you really super.
I thought I had like a one night stand once. I think it was, and she was sleeping, and I think just when
You
I was
at your
sleeping-
house?
Yeah, and I didn't think. No, because it was like a lead up to it. It was like she's coming over, and I think I turned over and did like this, and I was like, oh, because my eyes closed and I'm not used to someone being in the bed, and she started swinging and kicking back, and I was just like, oh, she needs to go, and she just hit me. She went like a quick 4-piece, like a quick shuffle kick, and I was like, I don't like this. And she was a little bony broad, so she had the bones all out, and I was like, you could just leave, but she didn't leave till the morning. No, she was like 5 in the morning. I would rather not wake up to you. There's morning rituals I like to do that include the bathroom.
But a first date can go the exact same way. Sex on a first date can go the exact same way. Especially if, like...
I wish you would rob me and we've been talking all this time.
No.
I know where you be at now. I know where you stay. I know where your grandmama stay. I know where your mama stay. I'm going to find you.
It was a long time.
But Elijah, there was no specification of how long you've been talking to this person.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, if I'm going on a first date, I wait 2 to 3 weeks. I like to generally know someone before I go on a date. I'm a romantic. I don't think you guys noticed that.
Well, no, not at all. By the things that come out your mouth. No.
Yeah, but
Remember, this is the romantic type. Is it cheaper to take an Uber at 4 or 20?
Why don't you have a car? I mean, I
just met up
what
with
if
her
you guys
randomly. You drove with her in your car to your place.
Yeah, y'all. What if she's
You
drunk?
driving in my car? My car ain't even all that good. I just got the.
So you're gonna meet somebody at some random place and then make her go in her car. You go in your car and she follows you.
So it's my fault if I don't want to drive for once.
What? What if she didn't come to the club? What if she didn't come to the club in a car in the first place?
Oh, they're irresponsible.
Yes.
What if she? What?
Some people come with friends.
Pause. What if her intentions?
y'all got
What if her
Okay,
intentions?
her friend can
What
take me
if-
to her.
What if her intentions were to go to the club and get drunk and have a good time? She's
What,
being
doing all
responsible.
those things.
She's being responsible by not driving her own car.
And you trust me to drive? I'm the guy who took a shot in the bathroom, and you want me to
A
drive?
shot? Why did you take a shot in the
I just
bathroom?
have this
I took the
image in my
drink.
head, like you're in a club and you just meet somebody. It's like, okay, you guys agreed, and you're like, okay, so how you gonna get to my place?
So
how we meet up?
I thought I was eating with you. Nah, see,
Oh, here's the address. Here's the address.
Here's my address.
Actually,
I'll see you in 5 minutes.
No, what? I'll take that all back. I don't like giving people my address. I will take you there. And I don't even park on my street. So, yeah, we're good.
I'm gonna ask these questions because I can't actually speak on them because I've never done either. So have you guys?
Holy.
Have you guys ever?
Open.
What? Have you guys ever had a one-night stand?
I
Well,
don't
it wasn't
trust
during the
people.
night.
Trey, have you ever had a one-night stand? Have you ever had a one-day stand? Sorry.
Yes.
One time of day.
Like a not
Yeah.
planned situation?
Yes.
How was it? Obviously not good enough for you to do it again.
Yeah. I mean,
So was it-
it would be if I got more prepared. But
It's okay, I'll leave it.
was spur of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's not supposed to be.
Was it with someone that you knew?
Like,
Ish?
Ish.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's always an issue. I don't think, I'm not really.
But
like,
that's
oh,
a one-night stand, though, technically. Like, have you ever talked to them again?
No.
Okay, so it's a one-night
I
stand.
said nope.
Ooh,
So it was bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
like a
But I think
one-night
that was just chance. That was gonna be bad.
Yeah, because you never know what it was.
One night stand is like a Russian roulette with.
Oh yeah, you're just
love
trying to
man.
get lucky.
But sex on the first date is too, but you can kind of be nicer about it.
Nah. Okay, it's. You did it once and just never again, or you don't know the person at all. Because, like, that whole banging randoms thing, I'm not really for that.
I mean, I guess we can classify it as you had sex with them and never talked to them again.
No, I'm good friends with all my sex partners.
See, yeah, so no. Yeah, you never had a one-night stand. See, like, okay, I've never had a one-night stand, but my opinion on them go very far because some friends and their stories, and I'm not really, and my friends and their stories and their friends' stories. Like, I'm not too fond of, people hooking up, like finding random people at parties and ending up in someone's frat dorm room and then walking.
That's not always the case, though. That's like.
No, I
that's
know,
the
but
bar.
those are the stories that I've heard of one night stands, and like that's why I'm like, ooh, no, not me. And also, I'm in a relationship, but even before I was in a relationship, like I just never found it cool to just randomly hook up.
I don't think.
with
I think
someone.
we're
Yeah, I never understood
disparaging. I think we're like taking away from the fact that you're vibing with. This isn't like, hey.
No, you're not
And we're
vibing
doing
with
it.
that person. Okay, so we went out and we got some interviews about different topics. We wanted to see exactly what some of our Kean students thought about one night stands versus sex on a first date. What do you perceive to be better, and what do you think society thinks is better? So let's take a look.
So how do you feel about one night stands?
They're okay.
Have you ever had a one night stand?
Yes.
How do you feel about sex on the first date?
Perfectly acceptable.
What do you think is more acceptable, a one night stand or sex on the first date?
I mean, both are situational. So either is acceptable, but I guess sex on the first date because at least you could continue it.
And what circumstance do you feel as though you would have to be in to have a one night stand? Like, what has to happen? Like
Anything.
anything? Like
Right now, what's up? Anybody?
You know why that's
No, but it's situation.
No, you know
Say,
why
but you could be
that's
on
bad?
vacation.
What if you don't
could
like
have
it?
drinks.
What if you don't like it and you already went on a date with this person and then she probably wants to go again, like on a date? If you guys
Women
had
turn
a
men down
one-night
all the time,
stand,
right? They
if
say,
you
now
guys
we can
had
be
a
friends. Why can't I do the same?
what
Said neither.
circumstance would you ever be in to have a one night stand? Like what would have to happen for you to have a one night stand?
That I don't know. Haven't crossed that level yet of my life, especially. Okay, thank you very much. So I can't.
That explains.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really ask me
Okay,
something
so you're
about
like valuing. I feel like one night stands, if that's how you like to roll, it's completely fine.
Just do it.
I
Exactly.
think. Okay, I haven't had a one night stand, but I think for people that do it, it's awesome. I mean, you don't have to go in a relationship. You don't have to like waste time. Most of the people that you date aren't like don't wind up being like the person anyway. So like, I just
Yeah,
feel like
I agree with
But-
that.
but
and
one
if
night-
you need that, if you need that need met,
you
then
said
do
something
it.
before, like what's more
acceptable? Yeah, one night stands or a sex on the first date.
I
One
would
night
say
stand.
one night stand.
Even though one night stand, you're just meeting that person, you have sex with them, and you never see them again. Versus you go on the first date, have sex, and then you can continue going on dates with them.
That is true.
That's true.
Like, I'm not against like sex on the first date. However, I feel like if you like some people that do have sex on the first date, like might as well would have just had a one night stand, because I feel like if they were quick to do it, then it was just maybe they just liked each other, so might as well just get it over with.
So how do you feel about one night stands?
They're okay, I guess. I don't think it's really my thing.
How do you feel about sex on the first date?
I feel like that's rushing it,
Yeah.
honestly. Because, like, I don't know. I don't know how people think sometimes. 'Cause, like, yeah, like that. I don't know how it's like.
What do you think's more acceptable, sex on the first
I
date
feel-
or one night stand?
One night stands are more acceptable because, like, sex on the first date, people like kind of look down on it. A lot of people I know look down on sex on the first date because like that's A, rushing it, and B, it's like you might as well just have a one night stand. If you don't like it, if you find that you're not really sexually compatible with that other person, why would you continue seeing them?
Yeah.
Because I know sex isn't everything in a relationship, but it's also kind of a big part.
Yeah. I feel you. How do you ladies feel about one night stands?
I don't personally like I don't like them because I'm very like, oh my god, what if he has this and this and this, and I don't know that. But I feel like they happen.
I saw you,
And,
but
like,
make sure
when
you
you're young.
Mark asked about
I feel like they happen, but I feel like you should
you're good.
like just like when you're in a relationship with whoever, you should be safe
Yeah.
in both instances.
I feel like so long as you tell them, like, look, like, I'm down to do this, but I also need to know X, Y, and Z. I feel like if you're okay to do this, they at least owe you at least that little snippet of information.
Yeah. How do you ladies feel about sex on the first date?
I feel like it happens as well.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's any different, honestly.
And it's like, but it's like a stigma against like women who have, like, you know, like it's okay for guys to do it, but I mean, I don't.
Like for me personally, I don't want it to interfere with someone thinking I'm easy.
Mm.
Because like yeah, some guys would be like, oh no, it's not. Like we don't think you're easy. But like I feel like the majority of them would be like, yeah, she's like I already got it.
Yeah, puts
So I
out on the
kinda
first
wanna-
date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to make
One
them
for the
work for
looks.
it.
What do you think's more acceptable, a one night stand or sex on the first date? Because there is a difference between the two.
There is. I feel like.
I think a one night stand.
Yeah.
One night stand, because that can happen like.
Really?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are saying one night stands, but I would assume a first date, because at least with a first date, you kind of go into knowing who that person is already, where a one night stand is like, it could be some random person you have sex with one time and then that's it.
But
I think that's the like
With
okay
like,
about it, like that's it.
Like it's like a one
and
time
done.
and yeah, like a one and done. Like you don't
Yeah.
ever have to see this person again. But with like a first date, it's like you want to build something.
Yeah.
And like you don't want that person to have a certain mentality about you. But the one night stand, you can care less what he thinks.
Yeah. And what circumstance would you personally have to be in to have a one night stand? Like what would the factors have to be for you to be like, okay, I'm just gonna have sex with this random person?
I don't know.
It don't have to be in fact, it's just like if I want to do it or not. It just have to be like, okay, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be my choice.
Yeah, because like some people are like, I have to be drunk. I have to be,
No, I don't have to be drunk. I mean, I probably would be because, like I said, I don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that I don't do it, but like it's like I'm not gonna
It's
be like,
something
oh,
that
let me
you're
have a
conscious
one night
of,
stand
yeah.
today. It's like
Yeah.
something that kind of like.
That's not something that happens just for fun.
The environment would have, like, I would say, for me, the environment would probably be like I'm at like a party or like I'm at like an event or something, and then like meet somebody, we vibe, and I'm like, okay, well, it's
I
time
think
for
that's
me to
what
go
it's
home.
It would all
And
come
you just
down
have
to
to
like
have
if I
vibe.
wanted if I
Yeah.
want to do that.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
A lot of people said that one night stands are more acceptable than sex on the first date.
Why, thank you, my loyal audience.
I don't understand why. Like, it doesn't make much sense to me. Because me personally, well, even though I've never had sex on the first date, like, during that date, depending, like, let's say, for instance, we've been talking for a month and we decide to go on a date finally. Like, it's now in our schedule to go on a date. Now, on this date, I'm getting to know you even more in person. You know what I mean? And then if I feel like, okay, from the vibe that I got for you for a month, and then the vibe that I'm getting from you off this date, now we can go and have sex. And if I like it, we can continue. If I don't, then we can talk about it and figure out what's best. Cut it out or, simmer things down, talk to other people. And I think that's a lot more acceptable.
That would hurt my feelings.
Why would that hurt your feelings?
Listen, I thought you were amazing as a person. I really thought this could be a thing.
Checked all my boxes.
But as soon as I
ripped it out,
thought that wasn't a factor, finding out it's a huge factor.
Let's think
so
about it like
for
this.
me, I like one night stands. I've never had a one night stand, but I've had sex on the first date before, and I can get with a one night stand more because, like, a lot of the times after I had sex on the first date, the guy either just completely ghosted, or like I've had a few of them, like, and we were talking for like not short amount of times at all, and then I've even had a few of them just tell me like, honestly, like, you're really dope, but this was just sex for me.
I think sometimes as men we're thought like women, we've definitely been taught that like women don't have the same sexual desires we want, so a lot of guys tend to lie and be like, oh, I want something.
Yeah.
I come up front. Man, what do you want? Sex. I don't want that. Okay, I completely understand.
So it's more acceptable to just be straight up on. No, we're not doing this. Please move the freak over. I already told you guys I'm hot. Y'all just compress my.
Cause I'm just on the
Yeah.
side. Why are we like this?
You just compress my arms to my armpits, and now I'm sweating. Move over. Move over.
Eli, you could move a little.
Please. Thank you.
I can't
There
move.
you go.
I'm gonna move over this way so you have some more space.
We kind of like a Christmas thing going on. Yeah, I like it. Okay.
But like, I don't know, like, me personally, I could never morally have sex with, like, I could never morally have a one night stand just because I'm not having sex with a rando. I'm sorry, I'm not. I don't know you. I don't know what you're about. You could be a serial killer, and while you climax, you could stab me in the heart.
That's the game.
What?
That's how we
Anyway,
I will say
it's okay. We're gonna bleep it.
another thing to the whole first date thing. I think attributes. At least you know what this person wants. Like, I don't know if you like to be choked when I meet you on that first or at the club.
Why is that something you're
It's always
thinking
your
about?
to-go.
I feel like a one night stand needs to be
Quick
sex.
question.
That's it.
Wait. Do you
Yeah,
like
one
to be
night
choked?
stands can't have kinks involved.
Yes, but
You
I
like
like
to
to
be
be choked by my
Huh?
boyfriend.
You like to be choked?
I like to be choked by my
You like to be
boyfriend,
choked?
not a stranger.
You like to be
Who
choked?
wants to be choked by a stranger?
You like to be choked?
No.
Okay.
Who wants to be choked by a stranger?
Me.
I meet you, and you're like, I'm thinking I'm about to die. I'm dead now.
But
I'm
not
dead.
if it's your kink. That's what I'm saying. That conversation you have.
You don't have that.
I don't
with
think you
someone
have enough time in a one night stand to bring up kids.
Exactly. You just.
I'm not advocating for that.
Sex, man.
No, I said when you do the first date thing, you have the opportunity to figure out what someone likes, their kinks and whatnot. It's different when the one night stand you just having standard sex, which may not be all that great, opposed to we've been talking about this for a little bit. You seem like the type who would like this. And also, it's not weird if I bring it up because like we've been talking, so let's just have this quick little kink conversation in the car ride as right before we do this.
But
Wait,
I'm
what
not.
was
But
your position on this? I completely.
he did first night. First.
I like being choked.
Sex
But
on
you
the first
already
Not
date.
said
that.
Sex on the first date.
Oh,
sex on the first date was
Yeah.
his position, and he's
Okay.
talking about one night stands.
No, I said
His
sex
is one
on the
night
first
stand.
date
I'm the one
seems
night stand.
better because you get to build that rapport.
Oh yes, but my thing
I
is
feel
that.
like we went all out for me to repeat that 3 times.
Yes, I know, but now you're saying if you are having a one night stand and you get with a girl, you get in a car, and on the way to your house, you're gonna talk about your kink. So then
No,
at that point,
I'm
you can
saying
choke her.
You do that with the first date because you had that rapport. Also, you can take that from the text message. If we've been talking, there has to be some type of flirting. It's like, oh, I'll choke you. Oh, I
All
might
right,
like that.
what do you guys
that
think?
shit
What do
you
you
see
guys
on,
think
like,
the pros
what's
and
it called?
cons of a one night stand is? Let's do the pros.
You could get robbed. Okay.
Let's do the
No,
pros
he just giving the
first.
people's own.
Let's do the pros
He got one.
first.
Surprised good sex. Like, if you didn't expect
Okay,
to.
but how is that a pro if you don't know if it's gonna be good?
Well, the problem is it could be.
Yo, you on the. That's a.
That was a problem.
Let
Let him have that one, please.
Also, remember that I've never had a one night
No,
stand.
but I'm saying like
or-
it's a surprise because then like you gotta think if it sucks it's like but if it was like whoa it's like whoa
like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Like the emoji we sent in the group chat today.
and if and if you guys really vibe, you guys can get really good coffee store sandwiches the day after.
No, you can't because it's a one night stand. You're never talking to them again.
No, I never told you after we get the sandwiches.
Pros and cons of one night stands.
They might
Give
make
me
you
another
breakfast.
pro. That's not a one night stand, bro.
But if you never see them after, it's not just the sex. It's
you can
that
still
night.
have
It's
a
a
one-night
one night.
Would you continue contact if they were the like most bomb sex you've ever had?
Even if you came into it
Like, yeah.
like this is a one night
Like
stand.
you had a whole contract with it, like this is the one time, but it was the best thing you ever had. Would you find
Yeah,
it?
of course. I ain't got nothing to lose. I don't even be doing nothing half the time.
Okay, what's the
Sure.
cons?
Is that still a one night
What's the
stand then?
cons of a one night stand? Pregnancy,
STD. Knew it. You got it. You hear it? Oh, I just knew it. Just had to wing it.
Oh, what? Did you want to hear robbery?
No.
No,
Chlamydia.
Back it off.
Team Xbox. Hell yeah.
What's the pros of sex on a first date? You know what you're potentially getting into for the second date.
If there's a
Penis or
second
vagina wise.
There's buildup. Like there's actually like some type of I know this person. I think they're cool.
What's the cons of sex on a first date?
It could be real bad and you don't want to talk to him again, but you realize, oh,
I
wait,
feel like
they're in my life now.
I feel like you can be mean. You can be mean in a one night stand. You can't be mean in sex on the first date.
Listen, your personality, you're everything I wanted in life. Yeah, but you got a shrimpy.
You. But if you go an endless round, you got that endless shrimp. You can just keep plowing it in.
I'm plowing it in. But what is there
It's
to
just
plow
like-
in?
I don't want
You
that.
said you had sex on the first date?
Yes.
Did you go on a second date?
No, wait. First date? No. I don't think I've had any of those things we've talked about today.
Tori, you said that you've been in a date. You've had sex on a first date.
Yeah.
And you didn't go on a second date after.
Not like maybe 2 times, but I'll like the other
All
ones,
other
yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Do you believe a one night stands are safe?
No.
No. Probably
If you're smart about it,
You can
yes.
fight and she ain't trying to
If
rob
you're,
you.
if
You
you're,
gotta.
Why do
the
you
per-
keep thinking about these girls robbing you, bro? Every girl is not out for your money and your
It's
possessions.
not the money.
it's
Your
the dignity
Xbox.
of-
Nobody
I just
wants
got
your
robbed
Xbox.
because I want.
So what circumstances do you have to be in to have a one night stand?
I gotta be there.
It's got to be there. It's like you. There's
Pause.
something like
You said you have to be there?
What?
Yeah, it can happen if I'm not there.
Duh!
Oh.
Duh! What were the circumstances that led you to be like, yeah, I'm gonna
Well, there's got to be that something that's like Like some je ne sais quoi.
Hey.
Je suis parlé un petit peu français.
Oh, my bitch said he foreign.
That's how you get them home.
Wait, you're
Just say that.
Italian.
I don't
don't
speak
mean
Italian.
nothing.
I don't speak a stitch of it. I speak Spanish, French, and English. Thank you.
Yo,
Yeah.
what circumstances there have to be? I think my circumstance would have to be that before our first date, I got to know you, so I'm comfortable with you. Anybody agree or disagree? Or we just gonna keep saying that they have to be there? Because I'm confused.
Nah, Ash is right.
I concur.
You second that? You third that? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
We took it to the
What?
Instagram page. That's the first thing about that. We went to the Instagram page at Birds and the Bees one. That's Birds and the Bees one, and we asked a few questions. So
I answered.
let's check it out. What do you believe is more acceptable, a one-night stand or sex on the first date? 46% of our followers said a one-night stand, and 54% said sex on the first date.
Closest margin we've had all
That's
season.
true.
Because they've either been like left or
A
right.
lot of these. Okay, so then the next question was, have you ever had sex on the first date? 55% said yes, and 45% said no.
all right, 45% of people are lying.
If you have had sex on the first date before, did you guys end up going on a second date? I don't believe this. 71% said yes, and 29% said hell no.
Lie.
Maybe because you put hell before the no.
What circumstance does there have to be for you to have a one night stand? Someone said bad sex. That
The
doesn't make
shrimp.
any sense to me.
No.
Of course it makes sense for you. Like, we just...
It says, what circumstance does there have to be for you to have a one night stand? Bad sex.
You
Explain
starting
that to me.
off, and then she's just start making weirdo noises, and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore.
Wait, circumstances to not.
To have.
So is that saying you're gonna have sex on the first date, but it turns out being a one night stand?
No. It's like a
But
one
that's
night
not a one night
before-
stand
yeah.
because if it's a date, then you
Right.
know that person.
Or are they saying
But
that
then
they
is it
had bad
become
Who
sex
knows?
and then they went?
What do you consider a one night stand? Having sex with a person you barely know and don't plan on keeping in contact with. What do you consider a one night stand when you have sex that one night, but it's meaningless?
Delete your Facebook.
Y'all have sex and never talk after that. This is what circumstances does it have to be to have a one night stand? Someone said I can't do it. I'm too scared of catching
You
something.
got something.
Chlamydia.
So wait,
Chlamydia.
Why is it
Chlamydia.
always chlamydia with y'all two?
I have a question. So if you have a one night stand and they're like, I don't plan on talking to them ever again, but you have another one night stand with that same person because you go to a party or something and they're still there,
Is it a
what
one-night
happens?
That's
We're-
not a one night
we're
stand.
bang
That's a
buddies.
two
But
night
does
stand.
that change
That's
the
two
last
nights.
one?
No, we're bang buddies now. We just, if we meet up at a party.
That's not a bang buddy though, because that it's not something that you guys plan every time you go to a party. Like, oh yeah,
You just had sex multiple times with that person.
Yeah, you did. Just
We
because
make an
you're
agreement. I pull out the contract, my notary form.
You've gotten it notarized at the bank.
Someone said to what circumstance? They said when I've officially lost my mind. LOL. Not judging people who do though. Different strokes for different people.
The people who say that they're not judging, they be the worst. They always freaks.
So mad.
So for you to have sex on the first date, what would that other person have to do? Give off a good vibe, make you feel safe, not pressured, comfortable. Another one was really wow me. I would also have to know them and be comfortable with them.
In your house?
But you know, most people ended up saying the same thing. But still, I was very surprised that people picked a one night stand over sex on the first date. Like that's just mind boggling.
Yo, we're living in a society of people don't want to have feelings. Sometimes you just want to.
Yeah, a lot of people just don't want
I never had a date.
We are wrapping it up. I am glad that we had this conversation about one night stands. Listen, if you're gonna have a one night stand,
Go do it. Just go do it. Just don't look me in my eyes, people. Go do it. Don't let nothing stop you. Be the master of your face. Women, be the feminist you want to be. Men, if she says no, that is a no. But women, take charge. Grab his nipples. Tell him what he wants to hear. Men, play along. Give a ride home unless the Uber is too much. Get it cracking.
Thank you guys for watching the show and learning a little bit more about us. Not only what we prefer, but what you guys prefer, because you guys participated in our polls. You know, one night stands versus sex on the first date. Next week we'll be talking about casual sex versus relationship sex and what you think is personally better. My name is Ashley Neal.
I'm Trey Perillo.
I'm Elijah Colossi.
Thank you for
Let's
watching.
talk about sex, baby. Let's